Okay, hi everybody. For the lesson we're going to do today, we're going to do a skeleton. It's a personalized skeleton, and it's for any age, I would say over the age of 3rd grade up to adults, because we will be writing our names in cursive, and there are some higher skilled cutting involved. So if you are 3rd grade or younger, this will be a great project for you if you have a grown-up that can help you with writing your name in cursive and with helping you with some of the tougher cutting skills that you'll need to be using. So let me get my phone hooked up, and then you'll come back and we will get started with the supplies you'll need. Okay. Let me get my phone in here. I am the most technically limited person on earth. Okay, we're going. Woo! Let me go over the materials you need real quick. You don't need that. You need a pencil with an eraser. You need a glue stick. Other forms of glue are going to be pretty liquidy and not work as well as a glue stick. So try to find a glue stick. You need a good pair of scissors for paper. You need about 5 sheets of plain old printer paper. You need a couple of sheets of, if you have this, a couple of sheets of construction or colored paper or construction paper, because you need something to glue your skeleton onto. You can't glue this onto a sheet of printer paper. Number one, the white would show, you wouldn't be able to see anything because the printer paper is white. And it is just too lightweight for it to hold up. So you need something like a piece of poster board that has color on it. You could always grab a piece of poster board, put some tempera paint on it real quick, let that dry, and then use that, or whatever you've got. But you need something that has a little bit of weight to the paper and color. Okay, those are all the supplies you need. Go ahead and stop the tape and the video. I always call it a tape, like I'm in 1990. Stop the video, get your supplies together, and come back. Okay, the first thing I want to do is I'm going to use my whiteboard. I know there's a terrible reflection on it, but I want to go through the steps of the bones we're going to make first, so that when we start working on it, you've already got an idea of what we're going to be doing, so nothing is too confusing, because once we do it, then it'll be the second time through and make it easier to understand. The first thing we're going to do is start with our bones. You know, our skeleton has one look to it compared to our physical, alive body, because our body has organs in it. It has tissue like tendons and muscles and fat and veins. It has all of these other body systems besides our skeletal system that gives us the shape. Once those things are gone and all we're looking at is our skeleton, it has a different look. So that's what we're going to be shooting for today, is a look of a skeleton from the waist up. And this will be a skeleton that you're going to be able to personalize. What I tell my students is when you are needing to draw an object, to always look for the shape in the object. You look for the shape, start with that shape, and modify that shape for an accurate drawing. It teaches your brain to be able to draw accurately and lay a scene out visually very quickly and very accurately. So I want you to start with looking at for a shape. So when we look at our head, we can kind of start with a kind of an oval, not a circle, more of an oval. And in that oval, once we take all that tissue off, once we start designing it to look like a skeleton, or a skull, I should say, we got have fat in our cheeks. We have tendons running up here, keeping our jawbone hooked together. We have muscles that make all of that work. And once that's gone, the sides of our skull, especially our cheeks, we can see those really sink in on a skeleton. The other thing we can see is that our eyeballs are gone and we're left with just 2 sockets. So I want you to just watch all this part and then we're going to do it together, okay? Then when our nose is gone, because it's all cartilage, so it'll be gone, we have just kind of an opening that has nothing in it. And then same thing with our mouth. When our what we're left here, we've got the opening, and yeah, my skeleton is so happy. And then our teeth hang around tooth. So what we will do is we're going to add our teeth separately, but eventually we're going to have a skeleton that kind of looks like that, a skull that looks like that. Then the other part of the body that we're going to work on will be the arms. So when we look at bones, long bones in our body, we're going to start with a rectangle. And we're going to modify it from there. We have a shoulder that is like a ball and socket. So we're not going to see a lot of our shoulder, but we're going to kind of just put a rounded end on it. And then at our elbow, again, it's a ball and socket. So we're going to kind of just modify it a little bit. The same when we get down to our forearm bone, it's also that ball and socket. So we're going to kind of do this. And you know how big your bones are because you can feel them with your hands. And on this one, we're going to just end it because we're going to attach our hands. And when we attach our hands, we're going to actually use our own hand. So you're going to trace around your hand. And then you're going to trace around your other hand. I once had to learn to be a left-handed artist. Not once, several times. I've had my right arm operated on and hand operated on. I'm still not very good, but we need our hands. Okay, then for the abdomen or the rib cage, this is going to be the part where we're going to write our names in cursive and cut that out. So I want you to be thinking about your name as we go here, because you don't want a name that's really, really long because you may run out of paper. You kind of want it to fit, because the way you're going to do this, we're going to fold our paper in half. And then I'm going to use marker so that you can see it, but we're going to use pencil. But for here, I'm going to use marker so you can see what I'm doing. So I don't want it to be too short. I don't want it to be too long. So my given name is Kimberly. My nickname is Kim or Kimmy. Kim is just 3 letters. Kimmy is 4. So I'm going to go with Kimmy because Kimberly, I may run out of room, and that would be the worst. So I don't want to do that. So I think I'm going to go Kimmy. Now, Kimmy is 4 letters. So you can either do this with pencil or just mentally do this. I want to divide up my paper so I can figure out how much space I need for my name. So I'm going to do Kimmy. I'm going to do it in cursive. And the way we will cut this out is we're not going to cut this fold. When we open this paper up, we're going to have both sides of our name, one going the right direction, the other one going in reverse. That's going to become our rib cage and pelvis, depending on how long your name is. So what I'm going to do is write my name in cursive. And then when I cut it out, get my other pen, I'm going to cut this out around that line I did. So I will cut it like this. And down here. And I want to make sure, actually I need to go around this Y on the outside. Might not be a bad idea for you to practice this one time before you actually start cutting. So I'm going to cut on the red line, okay? This will make sense when I do it. Okay, now we've gone over the materials, we've gone over the beginning of the instructions to give you an idea of what we're going to do. All of these pieces will be cut out. So go ahead and stop the video, and then we will come back and do it for real. Okay, we're back. I hope that you took just a minute to kind of contemplate everything that we're going to do. It's best to always stop the video and kind of think about things so that your brain has a chance to catch up with the new information that you are being given. Okay, so the way we're going to start this project is by doing our bones. So here's my first sheet of paper. I'm going to start off with my skull. Now I'm going to use a marker so that I am sure you can see what I'm doing. You just need to use a pencil, okay? Let me go and then you go. Oh wait, no, I do have to use a pencil because I've got to erase, sorry. Let me go and then you go, okay? I'm gonna bear down hard so you can see it though. So we're gonna start with an oval. Keep your elbow up off the table when you're doing an oval or circle so that it comes out with a better shape. Drawing with your arm, your whole arm is always better than laying your hand down and doing these little, that's not how you should draw. You should draw by holding your arm up, draw or paint, and working from the shoulder so that you can move your whole arm and not do flicks, okay? So I want you to get your arms up off the paper and make your oval. Then you're going to come into the upper half of the oval. Now mine is a little long, so I'm going to cut it off right here. No, maybe even up here. Okay. The rest of this, I'm not going to bother to erase, but I'm going to cut all that away. Okay, so go ahead and make your oval and cut it, and make your skull and then cut it out. And go ahead and stop the video so you can do this part. Okay, here we are, we're back. Let's get our eyeballs in here. Now the eyeballs don't go up here on the top of your head, okay? The eyeballs, this is the top of your head, this is your forehead right here. So your eyeballs are down here. So you want to do 2 circles, here and here. Then triangle for your nose. You do not have to cut those out if you want to just glue. If you want to just use black construction paper, you can put construction paper eyeballs over these spots, or you can cut them out. I'm going to cut mine out. And I'm a happy as heck skeleton. I love life. And I'm glad to have people enjoying life with me. So I'm a happy skeleton. Can skeletons really smile? No, but that's okay. It's fun to pretend. Okay, now I need to cut. You need to poke a little hole. Where are my tools at here? Let me show you how I cut holes. I'm going to poke a little hole. You can use a pencil to do this. I have a little owl that I use for weaving baskets. I'm going to poke a little hole right in all of these pieces so I can get my scissors started. Get my scissor in here. This is where, if you are under 3rd grade, please have a grown-up do this because you could cut your fingers. I'm going to go nice and slow to try to make my eyeballs smooth. Let's see, how did that turn out? I got a little wonky thing right there. Let me show you. See right there? That'll bug me. I'm going to fix that. I want that to be a little smoother. It's really hard to get in there. I don't think I'm going to be able to fix that. I think I'll have to live with that. Okay, that's okay. I'm dead anyways. Here we go. You got to be dead to have your skeleton showing. Here we go around another eyeball, or eye socket. Shouldn't be calling them eyeballs. The eyeball part's gone. I just got sockets left. Okay, there are my eye sockets. Now for my nose that used to deliver oxygen to my lungs because I could breathe in. My sinuses are gone. My lungs are gone. All I've got left is the hole. Littler scissors would be good to get down in here. Okay, now my mouth. And you know, even if you are a 4th grader or a 5th grader, you need to be careful with this cutting part. Now, instead of me continuing to try to jam my scissors up in there, which is making things bend too much, I'm going to start going from the other direction because I can get up in there. Then I'm just going to cut straight down to get to the bottom of the mouth. I'm going to go this direction. So instead of turning your scissors to meet your needs, turn the object to cooperate better with your tool. In this case, scissors. Okay, now that's opened up enough where I can really get up in there. I'm going to cut away this extra paper because I don't need it. It's in my way. And I'm going to get up in here and get that corner nice. Okay. That all goes in recycling. There's my face, my happy skeleton. Now, when I glue this down where I can see pencil marks, I'm going to make sure I glue it down going the other way so I don't see the pencil marks. Or you need to erase your pencil marks that's going around the edge of the skull. Okay, now we're going to get into our arms. Let me think here. What do we have left on here? I do have enough room on this skull to at least get one arm bone in here. So I'm going to start, let's see, I'll get my shoulder bone. That will connect with my elbow, which is also a ball and socket. You're not going to see this bottom part of the arm. So I'm going to just kind of make a little edge on it that's rounded. I'm going to cut this guy out. Make sure that what you're doing is you are making your bones and you're stopping the video, because I won't remember to tell you to stop it. Make sure you're stopping the video to make sure you have enough time to get these right. Now let me see if I have enough room on this one to do. Yes, I do. Okay. So what I'm going to do here, put some black paper under it so you can see, is I am going to, and see I've got marks on this side, so I will have to erase this other part of pencil marks that you can see. I'm just going to trace around this guy. So they're kind of close in size. What I tell my primary grade kids is to cut a bubble around what you're going to cut out, then cut the object out. That gets rid of a lot of excess paper that actually gets in your way of cutting. Okay, now this guy needs some erasing done, and I'm going to do that right now before I forget. I'm going to gently do this so I don't tear it. So I'm going to hold down my bone with one hand and gently erase with the other. Although I don't think you're going to see that elbow socket very much, because the forearm's going to go over it. Okay, so now I've got those bones. So stop the tape, get your bones done, and then come back. Okay, let me move some trash out of the way here so I can see what I'm doing. I'll save these little scraps just in case I need them. I'm going to put my pieces over here so I don't get them mixed up and confused with what I'm doing. Keep myself organized. Okay. Now, what we did was this bone, it's the humerus that comes from your shoulder, which actually is probably rounded the other way, but you're not going to see every piece. Your shoulder is a ball and socket, and so this humerus can move every direction. Then the bottom bones, there's actually two bones in the bottom section. It's the ulnus and the radius. We're not going to go and do two bones, though. We're just going to do one bone. And it'll be about the same length as this bone, just more narrow. So we're just going to make it look like it's a more narrow bone, okay? So for this one, we'll do a socket on this end, a ball on this end, and then we'll come down, more narrow than that. And this kind of just ends right into your hand. Actually, let's modify that. Oh, the things that art teachers suddenly realize that they need to do when looking at shapes. Okay. I'm going to cut this guy out. Okay. Now I'm going to trace this guy. And remember, the ends of these bones are honestly not going to be able to be seen very well because they all are going to be laying on top of each other. So there's not going to be a lot of shape that you can actually see. Okay, whoopsies, don't throw that guy away. Okay, there is my forearm. Now I need to do my hand. So, I'm gonna do my left one first and get it done. Or right, I'm gonna be doing my right one, but drawing with my left hand, I should say. Okay. Ooh, that finger's bony. I have to kind of fix that as I go here. Now here I'm going to cut my bubble. Get rid of excess paper because it is in my way. Now I'm going to do my hand. Whoops. Yikes. Uh-oh. There we go. And then I want to kind of cut this off like that. Okay, so now there is one hand, and I've got a little bit of erasing I need to do on this finger. I'm going to hold it careful so I don't tear the paper, because those are very small sections and would be so easy to tear. Okay, there's my right hand. Now my left hand. Now I'm not going to just put it right in the middle of the paper. I'm going to go over to the side because there's no reason to waste all the paper. I might want the rest of that for something else. Not on this project, but maybe on another project. Okay. Now I'm going to cut that paper away. Go ahead and cut a bubble so I can get down in here easier. Okay, now I've got my bubble cut around my object, and now I'm going to cut it out. Okay. Around it a little bit. Alrighty. Now let me get my white stuff out of the way. last sheet of paper, I'm going to fold long ways. Some people say hot dog direction, and then this is hamburger because it's round. We can get a rounder section, and this is like, looks like a hot dog bun. I prefer to say horizontal. Okay, or long ways. Alrighty, now I gotta do my name. Now again, I wanna divide up my paper so that I get my name relatively even. I wanna remember I don't wanna cut that fold. I think I'll make my K a little fancier. That really should be a dot. We're going to cut around it and make a circle. Okay, now I got to cut around all this correctly. So at this point, if you wanted to, you could take and draw just like I did on this one. You could draw your lines and kind of make bubble letters around so that you know how you're going to cut it, or just go for it. But you definitely are going to want to turn off the tape on this part so that you can get this right. I'm going to go for it. I'm going to cut away sections as I go, and you should do the same thing. Don't try to just do this in all one long cut. Because that's just adding a challenge that you really don't need at this point. Get rid of that. I'm rounding these back in though. Trying to keep my fingers back so I don't cut myself. Now that's pointy. That doesn't look right. That needs to be rounded. Like that. Okay. Get around my M. So if you have a super long name, figure out, do you have a nickname you can go by that's shorter? That maybe more than like 3 letters, maybe at least 4 letters. Some of my students have really long names and they could run out of room, and it would make the cutting really kind of hard because they would have to be able to go in and out of really tiny areas. Okay, let me round around this little flourish that I put on my eye. And now I don't want to cut through all of this fold because eventually we're going to open this up and it's going to be our rib cage. But we want some cuts so that we don't just have a big solid section. So we want to come in and do a few little cuts in here. So I'm going to go up and around these M's to get up inside of them. Now watch. So now I have some cuts on the inside, but I have still kept some of the fold in there. It's so important to keep some of that fold working. Now with my Y, I'm going to have to get inside of there. And I dread that because I have to be really careful and not mess it up or cut it wrong. Okay, so now for the dreaded part. I got to get down in that Y. Get my poker. Carefully get inside there. Be careful that if you are on a tabletop that you are not poking holes in your parents' table or in your own table. Actually, what I use is like a little welcome mat or something like that at home. I tell the kids just get up and go poke it into a welcome mat because they're tough and they can take the poke. Okay, oh, boy, that's messy. I really needed smaller scissors for this. I should have gotten out a smaller set. Okay, let's see how this looks now. Yay, there's my rib cage. Okay, now for the super duper fun part. I need to separate my trash so I don't end up losing body parts for my skeleton. Okay, now my skeleton is there. Get organized because I got lots of pieces of paper flying around. I don't need my pencils. I don't need my poker. I don't need my scissors. I don't need my eraser. What I need now is just my paper I'm going to glue onto and my bones. So now I want my bones to show up, and I want my purple paper to show up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stagger my paper so it's not so perfect. I kind of want it going a little bit wonky because that adds to the feeling in art. When things start going on diagonals, it adds movement and can look a little more energetic. Okay, but I also want to be careful not get glue all over the place. So I'm going to just stick to gluing kind of in the center of my paper. Let's see, we'll put you, I don't want it to look too mirrored. I think like that. Make sure I don't have glue sticking out. I want that corner to stick out a little bit. Okay, now I've got my background put together. I can start putting my skeleton together. Okay, let me turn this guy this direction so you can see me work like from this perspective, okay? Now, make sure that you are stopping the video to get caught up because I get all fired up with what I'm doing and I forget to tell you, okay? So make sure you shut your video off. And don't throw all your white paper away. We still have some teeth to make, okay? All right, first thing I'm going to do is glue my skeleton on. Now this is got the little pieces of pencil that's showing. I can either gently erase it or with this I can use the other side. So I'm just going to use the other side. And I'm going to glue it on with my glue stick. I've got to hold it very carefully so I don't tear it. And here's my face. Isn't that cool? Okay, then we're going to put the rib cage on. Oh, now does that look cool or what? Look at either direction. How? Oh, I think I like it this way. You can do it either way. You just want to make sure that you don't show the pencil. That's the glue side. You want it to go this direction, and you want it to make sure that it all fits on your paper, okay? So now I'm going to turn this over. This is going to take some real expert gluing. I'm going to start at the top. My glue dries clear, so I don't have to worry about that, so that if I get a little glue going over the edge, I don't need to worry. If my paper starts to pull one direction or another like that, stop, go at it from the opposite way. Whenever your paper starts to pull, stop and get it going the right direction so that you don't tear what you're making. Things that are this delicate, and this is delicate because of all the cutting, they tear easily. Delicate things tear easily. But we had to use printer paper so we could manage cutting it. Uh-oh, big glob of glue came off. Glad it dries clear. My glue kind of fell apart on me. Okay, now, how is this gonna go here? My glue really clumped up here. Now I want to keep my hands clean. I don't want to take gluey fingers. So I'm kind of drying and rubbing the glue in. I'll wash my hands after I'm done, not now. Don't need to do it now. Art is a messy business, and that's okay. Okay, now that's coming up. So look, I've got to re-glue that. Oh, my glue stick is making a heck of a mess. I must have hit it on the scissors or something. Okay, lay down there. Name, that's coming up there too. When I found this lesson, I thought it was so perfect. I knew people would like to make it. Okay, so there's my, so far, so good, my bones. Now I got to get my arms in here. So I'm going to take this humerus, I think I'm going to take them both down, a little different though. Now remember, be looking for which side you need to glue on. The non-pencil side. I got a lot of pencil on this one, so that's obvious. I'm gonna glue him there, or her. Obviously, it's me. Looks just like me. This one here. Then I got to get the rest of my arm hooked together. So let's see. Your arm kind of bends this way. I'm going to take this forearm. Let's see. I think this one was just hang down a little bit. And it's actually coming off the paper right there, but that's going to become part of the design. And now this one, I think, is going to be raising up this way. So I'm raising my arm on one side. Get my glue on. Get my elbow attached. And now I need my hands. Now, when you do your hands, you want to make sure you get them going right. You don't want to have two left hands. So let me show you. Let me turn her over so I can show you on a clear background. Your hands go in opposite directions. You don't have thumbs on the outside. The thumbs are on the inside of your hand. So when you put your hands, when you glue them down, make sure that you don't go like this, okay? Or don't do this, where the thumbs are on the outside. Unless it works with your design. Now, if it works with your design, yes, because your hand can do this, where you pick your hand up to wave. But you don't usually have your hand in this direction, okay? So let's just kind of look at, all I mean is look at it before you glue it down. Does it look right? Okay. I've got my hands on the inside. And now I want to make sure that I can see both hands. So this one, on this side, I'm going to glue this way so that I can get enough glue. I want to cover up that bone too, the joint. So this way, if I put it like this, I will have enough room. I can put some glue here and use this area for glue, so it will be more secure and up in here. The only part that will not have glue behind it is this section right here, and I want that to kind of be free and flopping around, okay? Does that make sense? Okay, now I got to turn it over and remember where I've got to glue. I want to glue here and here, and where else? Up this finger, I think so. Get enough glue on there. Attach it. Okay, this guy needs some glue. So I'm gently, 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 gently glue that guy down. This can handle a little glue right there. So let me put it on there. And the thumb can be glued down. Oh, I got a little piece of rib cage popping up. So I'm gonna get that down. Okay, there's my right hand. Now, the left hand. I'll glue it like that. So everything can be glued. Oh, I need to fix that little bone, or that little piece of paper sticking out. Looks funny. Okay, so now this one, the only part that won't be glued is the outside of the hand and the pinky. So I'm going to turn it over. The only thing that can't be glued is the pinky and the outside of the hand, so the rest of this hand can all handle a nice amount of glue to keep it glued down. Need to work a little bit quickly so we don't run out of time and have my glue dry. Okay, there you have it. My own skeleton, my very own skeleton. Now, here's the cute thing about this project, something that I really did love, is that some students did some other decorations. So you could go and you could cut a necklace, glue it down around the neck. You could do a bracelet glued down. You could do things on the head, like you could do, I was thinking a bow maybe. Of course you wouldn't want to use white because you wouldn't be able to see it, but that's all I had. So you could do a bow in your hair. Another thing you could do is, if you wanted to wear, if you were a girl and you wanted to wear makeup, you could put like eyelashes and makeup on. That would be cute. Oh, the other thing we need are teeth. So you want to grab your scraps. This is now when your scraps come in very handy. And you want to add some teeth. So I want to cut, let's see, a few teeth there. You can put as many teeth as you want. I'm just going to put a few on so that you get the idea. Okay. There's some little teeth. Dear, that one's a long one. Okay. Then to glue your teeth on, the way I tell my students to do this is, instead of putting the glue on the tooth, put the tooth on the glue, or the small object on the glue. So I have my kids just, that is a really long tooth. I gotta cut it. It's gonna look like a lion. So hold the glue, wipe the glue onto the object. Doesn't wanna come off my thumb. Okay, that needs a little more glue right there. Oh, I got another tooth. How about I do just one in the bottom? Not very good dental care when you end up with just 3 teeth. I obviously did not take good care of my teeth. Okay, there you go. Your personalized skeleton. Make sure that you put, if you're a kid, well, even if you're an adult, put your name on the back and the date, because these are super cute. You would want to hang them out every year. Okay, that's it. Thanks for playing in art with me. Bye.